So a couple months ago, my chickens all died. They were killed by raccoons in the middle of the night, and wanted to share some lessons learned with you guys about what we could have done better, what we'll do in the future. Probably gonna disable comments just because I'm kind of embarrassed and I feel like it's my fault, but I mean, that's how you learn. So yeah, I'll go ahead and get started. So I think a lot of y'all might have seen the video where we talked about our setup that we have, and I'll tell you some things that went well that I think was good, and then some things that we could have improved. So all right, so we have the dog run set up, and some things that were good was that we had blocked this off here and had some extra chicken wire. These holes were still big enough for rats and mice and birds to get through, which isn't really a big deal as long as the food is elevated. But we wouldn't have had a raccoon to get in. We think the raccoons, what they did was they climbed over that fence, hopped onto this fence and climbed it, and then they ripped open this bird netting. So this bird netting, I think, would be enough for like an eagle to get caught up, but a raccoon is smart enough to be able to tear this open. I'm actually pregnant and have the goats and a dog, and I've been really tired lately, and I hadn't been closing the coop at night. I kind of was trusting the whole system, but this door here wasn't closed, so they were able to climb up there and get the chickens. If I were to do this again, I think I would do a solar door that opens and closes with sunset and dawn. Because then, even if I was getting tired and life got busy, I could still trust that they would be safe at night and in the morning. And I think they make those solar doors where they slide up and down, and those are also harder for raccoons to do their thing. Another thing is, as you can tell, this is all dirt. I'm not going to go in there because I'm trying to seed it to grow the grass back. But we would definitely in the future do a tractor coop situation. So we used to move this around a little bit, but since I've been pregnant, I haven't been able to lift this whole thing. So I think we would do a smaller coop with like hard chicken wire, or like the kind of wire cloth to where a raccoon can get through it, and then roll it around to where they could have some fresh grass to nibble on, and we wouldn't have to reseed it like this. We also had suspended the food and water from here, and then the water, they didn't really like it as much, so I had a pan, but then dirt got in that. So I think I would do a system where they have like the what's it called, the PVC pipes. There's a lot of different versions where you can do PVC pipes where you can actually fill it in from outside of the coop or the chicken run, which kind of can help, especially chicken poop is pretty gross. And something that was also kind of annoying was right now, once we got the goat, we had the chicken enclosure in the same enclosure as the goats, but the goats want to very badly, I'll say hi to them, they're having some hay right now. They wanted to eat the chicken feed more than anything. So even though it was kind of nice for the chickens to be able to be let out in the same area sometime during the day, I would have it in a totally separate area so I wouldn't have to feed the goats and then go and then feed the chickens. We did like the nesting box we used. I think a plastic nesting box is really nice because you can rinse it out if they break eggs. So I'd probably do that again. And then the way that this door opened up was really easy to clean up. I liked that as well. But yeah, I mean, we learned a whole lot. I think we're gonna wait until, we're just in a suburban lot, and I'm pregnant with my first kid, and having a lot, and I really love goats and my dog and everything like that. So we're gonna wait until we have a little more land and we can do a tractor coop setup and be able to move that around easily. And then also have like a small kid, you know, once she's older, who can, who's excited about gathering eggs and maybe closing and opening the door at night. And those kind of chores that are smaller, but need a little more energy to do. Some other things was, we do have wildfire smoke has become more of a problem in the Pacific Northwest. I'm in Washington State, and I'm gonna sit. And that we didn't really have a place to put them because we have the house, but we don't really have like a garage or a barn or something that we could put an air filter in that they could be in and be safe. My husband has allergies, and you know, also being pregnant, I don't want to like have chicken poop inside the house. Hi. Hello. Oh, hi. Someone's jumping in my lap. Hi, Luna. I'll sit next to you over here. And so when we have our own land, I definitely want to have like an area whenever it is overly hot or smoky, where I can do some climate control, but it's a separate area from the main house. So that's also something once we scale up, because the chickens, they get sick in the smoke. Their lungs don't do well with it. I mean, you're supposed to give them lots of extra water, but it causes them to early molt, causes respiratory problems, and you can give some electrolytes, but it's not great for them. It's ideally they can be brought inside, if that's something that you're able to do. So yeah. Oh, and then the other thing I messed up was, so I had one older chicken, and then I had younger chicks and pullets. Hi. In the same area, and I had layer feed, and then I also had chick feed, and what I should have done was flock feed, because the chick feed I think was making the older chicken, she was eating some of the chick feed, and it made her overweight and unhealthy. And then if the chicks ate the layer feed, then that has too much calcium, which their kidneys aren't ready for. So the flock feed is better to use, or I think flock starter, which is for mixed age chicken groups. And then you can use extra oyster shell, so that the older chickens know how to supplement for themselves. But in general, we learned a ton, and we're still really enjoying our goats. What are you doing, Luna? What are you doing? So yeah, we learned a ton. Oh, also, I wouldn't have kept the chicks inside the house. I would have also done that in a barn or a garage. And I wouldn't have used a heat lamp. I would have used a electric heater where I could put it on a thermostat so they could stay at the same temperature without me having to constantly check it. And that would also help it if it was in a barn or something like that, if there wasn't as much heating. Because the chicks at first were fine, but then they were kicking up poop and shavings everywhere in the house, and I basically had to like steam clean it and repaint the walls. So I'll make sure I link this below to my other videos about my chicken startup, or chicks, and then also my setup over here.